Hello, everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about how to receive inputs from the keyboard and use them to display things on the screen. Basic thing we call input and output. So let's take a look at our code over here. We see hello world from last time. I'm going to create a new file here. And we'll call this learning 01 or week 1.py. So I would like to write a program that's going to display a shipping label. If you've ever sent something by UPS, FedEx, DHL, or a local postal service in your country, there's always a label on there with the name and the address, right? And it's a lot easier if you let the computer print all those things out instead of having it all done by hand. For the computer to know the information, though, someone's going to have to tell it the names and the addresses. In the future, you'll learn how to get that information from other places, but for today, we're going to enter it in at the keyboard. So we're going to have a couple of steps. So remember, to do a comment, we use the hash symbol, okay? And I'm going to write this program in two parts. Get the address information from the user, which would be me if I was running this. Okay, I'll put some spaces in there. And the next step is going to be display the shipping label. Okay, so we kind of separated our program into two parts. So we know that to display things, we use the print command, right? So maybe we can come in here, just start off and say print. Here is the shipping label, again, with double quotes, okay? And maybe up here, we might say something like, print, please enter the information below. Okay, so we got some prints going on there. So what do I need? I need the name. I need the street address, the city, and I'll say state here in the United States, or it could be country. There's zip codes and things like that, postal codes that we could put in there. So let's try this out. I want to ask information about name, street address, and city and state. We'll do those, okay? Now, the way we're typing this looks like we're not writing code, and no, we're not. We're setting it up, okay? These are things we want to display to the user. So they see name colon, they're gonna think, oh, I need to enter in my name, okay? So these are strings that are getting displayed. I'm gonna put double quotes around them, okay? Strings have to have quotes around them in Python. Otherwise, Python doesn't understand what you're writing. Okay, now I could come up to name here and I could say print. It would print it out, but I want it to read from the keyboard. I want the program to pause and let the user type in their name, press the enter key, and then move on. So that's a different command. That's not print. That command is called input. And the way this will work is it will display name colon, and then it'll wait for the user to type something in and press enter. Okay, and that's what we want. So input here, notice the parentheses going around everything, just like the print command. There we go. Now, they're going to type in the name. Eventually, we want to print it, right? We want to come down here and print out that name. How do I get the name from the keyboard so that I can put it on the display again later? It's called a variable. We'll use lots of variables. If software didn't have variables, it would be very boring software. Variables are storing information. They can store strings and numbers, all sorts of things. And we do write a lot of them. So we're going to begin by noticing that the input command also called the input function, gives us something when it's finished, because its job is to go read from the keyboard. And when it's done, it wants to give us whatever was typed. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of what looks like math. I'm going to say name is equal to name. And maybe I might do the next one. Street is equal to street. And this one, city, is equal to that input. This one's be state is equal to. Okay. Now, I didn't have to have the same words here. In fact, maybe I'll come over here and say this is street address. I don't need to write street address over here. Street's just fine. These four things, name, street, city, state, in blue here on the left, are variables. When someone types in the name, it's going to be put inside of that variable. It's going to hold it. It's like it's in a box. And that box can be opened up anywhere in our program. In fact, I'm going to open it up over here. I'm going to say print the name. Notice no double quotes this time. This is not a string. This is the variable, right? If they type in Bob up here for the name, this is going to print out Bob. Okay, if it type in Sue, this will print out Sue. Okay, so maybe we should see this in action. I'm gonna print all of them out. Print street, print city, print state. Okay, let's see if it worked. Press the play button up here. There's the first print statement. Please enter the information below. That was from here on line 3. The name. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to type in Bob. All right, I'm pressing address 123 Cherry Lane in the city of, well, it's got to be Rexburg, right? In the state of Idaho. Whoa, look at all this. Lots of stuff printed. Here is the shipping label. This showed up because of line 13. Line 14, print the name, printed out Bob, 123 Cherry Lane, Rexburg, Idaho. There we go. Very good, very good. So some other things we can do here, okay? Notice that everything's kind of scrunched together here. It gets hard to read. I can come up here and I can do another print statement, but put nothing in it. Watch what happens when I do a print statement with nothing in it. It puts a blank line. Kind of convenient, right? Say Bob, 123 Cherry Lane again, Rexburg, Idaho. Maybe some other places might be nice. Maybe before this print statement here and after this print statement. Just give some spacing. Also notice, do you see how when you typed in Bob, it was right next to the colon? If I put a space after the colons up here, I'll get a space in the display. See that? See, look at that. Now it's way over here now. Bob, Cherry Lane, Rexburg, Idaho. And there we go. Now, we'd like to make this look a little bit better, perhaps. Maybe we want the state to be right after the city on the same line, okay? How do we do that? Okay, we do that with something called formatted strings. A formatted string is a string with double quotes, but it has variables inside of it, okay? So you can customize it a little bit. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna remove these last 2 lines, and I'm gonna say print, and I want to print the city, comma, the state. So here's what I do. Inside the parentheses here, I'm going to put an F. F stands for formatting, okay? And then I'm going to put my double quotes. This is called an F string. F strings are useful because now I can put variables in here. So I want to put city, comma, the state. I might say city, comma, state. But if I do this, it's going to literally do that, right? Bob, 123 Cherry Lane, Rexburg, Idaho. Yeah, that's not what I want. I don't want the strings. I want the variables. Okay, to do that, when we're using an F here, we put curly braces around the variable. They're placeholders to put in whatever those values are. Now, if we run it, we get Bob, 123 Cherry Lane, in Rexburg, Idaho. Ah, that's looking better. I like that. Okay. Maybe we also might want to put something on that top line there. When it says name, maybe I want to say SUNEP string again. I want to say to. It's being addressed to someone, right? We put name in the curly braces now, just like that. Bob, 123, Cherry Lane, Rexburg, Idaho. There we go. Now, if we wanted to, we could make this one look the same as all the rest, right? I can say F string and just put it in curly braces. Now, that's obviously a little bit longer than what we had before, but what does that do? It displays a string of whatever the street variable is. I don't have anything I want to put after it, right? So there we go. That's how input and output works, okay? It involves using the input command and the print command. And the input command gives us a value. We want to save it in a variable. And we use the equal sign. Say whatever this resulted in, put it in here. And then we can display stuff. And we can format it any way we want using the F string notation. So there you go. Happy coding, everyone. Please let me know if you need any help. Have a wonderful day. Bye.